just going to stretch, feel comfortable, walk it out. No need to sort of close our eyes. We're not getting deep. We're just sort of enjoying ourselves. Inhale, reach up. Almost like you're yawning in the morning, even though it's evening. And then just fold forward. Any way you want to fold forward. And just hands on a block, on the mat. Just slowly walk it out. Really slow. Just enjoying everything. The fact that we're here. And then when you're ready, just slowly, slowly rise up. Oh, a nice little stretch, reaching up again. And then bend to the right. Don't overbend, we're just bending a little bit. And then inhale, reach up again. And just work with your breath. Exhale, bend to the left. Almost like you're swaying. We're really just trying to be gentle with our body. Reach up as you inhale, then just fold forward any way you feel like folding forward, just being mindful with your back. Good. And then grab your roller. I'm just going to grab my roller here. I had a ball, but I'm just grabbing my roller. And we're just going to roll our feet. And if you don't, if you have a ball, it's great. If not, just go ahead and roll on the edge of the roller and just try to use the edge to sort of hit spots. And again, with rolling, you want to go slow. And ideally, you'd want to go slow. And then when you find a spot that sort of feels good, but also feels sore, you sort of lay on it. Because our soft tissues are rather elastic and resistant. And so you really need to put that pressure and then just hold it. So it's really going super slow. And you might want to roll your toes as best as you can on the edge. I find it a little bit difficult I have a smooth roller. It's a little bit hard to do this. And then switch feet when you're ready. I think with the roller, if it's not a knobby roller, I think it's a little hard to get your feet with a straight, smooth roller. Okay, good. And then lose that roller, push it to the side. And then rise up and reach one more time. And then fold forward any which way that feels good. And then bring your hands in front of you. Just walk them slowly in front of you. And then step back and do your first downward dog. Pressing your shoulder blades, lifting your rear end to the ceiling. And then slowly transition into a tabletop. You can be on the tops of your feet or just be ahead on your toes. And then just some big circles. And again, working with your breath. And then change directions. And then find yourself in a neutral position and take 3 cat-cows. Again, going slow and deliberate. And not overdoing it, just doing what you need. And that's good. And then step your right foot next to your right hand on the other part of it. And then revolve and open to the right. So just a little twist, gentle twist, gazes up. Good, and then bring that hand back down. Walk your foot forward just a little bit and then do the outer edge of your mat. You're going to take a lizard. So it's nice to put your foot on the outer edge of the mat, and then I'm going to shift my way forward and then bring my knee back just a little bit. And just hold it here. So we like to say we hold these poses where we're trying to stretch. We like to hold them about 5 to 6 breaths, sort of slow breaths. And with each breath, you sort of let go of as much tension as you can. Good. And then slowly walk your foot back towards the mat, not all the way to the center, but just back into the mat. And then frame your foot with your hands and then walk the foot forward. And now you're in a position for a runner stretch. And just shift your weight back. Bring your right toes up towards the ceiling. And again, find what works for you. Then shift your weight forward just a little bit. Bring your foot back in. And then walk the foot to the other side. We've done this routine several times before. And take a pigeon on this side. I like to lower them to my forearms. You can lower them to a block. Bring your forehead onto the floor. And try to flex your right foot if you can, so your toes are pointing towards the front of your mat. And then with every exhale, just let your pelvis just fall to the ground, fall towards the mat. Melt in. Just imagine that as you exhale each time, you feel that stretch even more and more. And you're just turning more and more into butter there. And that butter is melting. And then slowly rise up. Very gently and mindfully, just swing your leg back. You might extend it back just a little bit, then drop to your knee. You're back in tabletop. You position yourself in tabletop. And once you're ready, go ahead and step that left foot next to that left hand. And we open up to revolve twist on the left. And just reaching up gently. And then framing our foot. Walking our foot a little bit out toward the outer edge and forward. Taking that right knee back just a little bit and opening up on the outer edge of the left foot to a lizard on the left. And then slowly walking your foot in a little bit, forward a little bit, bringing that knee back, and taking a runner stretch on this side. Maybe while you're doing these stretches, you can realize, oh, that part, I can really feel it on that part of my leg. And so that when we roll, maybe you can focus on those areas. Like I feel this right above my knee on my hamstrings, in the back of my knee. Really feel it there. And then shift your weight forward just a little bit and gently walk your foot to the other side. And gently drop down for a pigeon on the left. And then slowly rising up. And then when you're ready, extend that left leg out. Just kick it out. And then go ahead and come down to your knees. So everyone should be on their knees. And let's stand on our knees. So you can see me, I'm standing on my knees, okay? Now, have you guys done camel pose, which is what we're just going to open up our chest? Okay,
Yes.
you hear or nod. So you can do a half camel if that's if it camel. So camel, the idea is we keep our hips forward, opening our chest, bringing our shoulder blades into our spine, extending our neck, and you open like you're opening everything here in your jaw. So you want to go slowly. So I like to support my hips and guide my hips, and then just slowly come back. And then I reach on one side, and this may be it for you. And then I reach to the other side. And then when I'm ready, I thrust my hips forward, and I open my throat, and I bring my neck back. You see that? That's good, guys. So just go slow. Wonderful. And then just take a couple breaths here, and then slowly come back out. Good. Now bring your hands in front of you, like you're about to go into a tabletop. But what I'm gonna ask you to do is just bring your knees a little bit wider than your hips, okay? And then your feet should be pointing back. And then now we're gonna bring and sit down in between our legs. So we're in a what's called a hero's pose. How's that feel? You guys are awesome. Okay, get a thumbs up. So again, doing what everyone feels they can do. Like I used to be able to go all the way down to my back, and I haven't been doing as much yin yoga like I used to. So, if you can go back just a little bit, go back a little bit. If you can go back onto your forearms, and or if you can go back all the way, just be very careful because if your ankles aren't used to it, well, look, Chris, you had no problem. You just went back there. It looks like you're about to go to bed. And McCartney too, and Nicole too, all of you. You guys are all pretty limber people. I don't know if you were limber before you did yoga, but you're definitely limber now. Wow. Okay, that's good. So do you guys all feel like you can just hang out here for a while?
No, not a long
It's that
while,
comfortable? Okay, that's good. And let's take a couple more breaths and then slowly find your way up coming up. Okay. And when you come up, just find yourself in a seated position on your bottom with your legs extended in front of you. And then grab your roller. We're going to start with a roller. Now, the intensity of what you want with roller obviously depends on the weight that you put in. So we're going to start from calves, and then we'll do the hamstrings. We'll do the quads, our adductors, and then our glutes. So, so you can, I can, so the calf that I'm rolling, I have it on the roller. And again, we're going to try to go the length of the calf, where you're going to go slow. And then when you find that saucy spot, okay, then we're going to sit there, okay? Now, I have my left foot next to my bottom, and that's supporting me. So I'm like in this like reverse tabletop. So you can just do this. Or if you want more, okay, you do this. You bring that left leg over the right. So now it's on top, okay? So now you got weight on that left leg, and then now you're rolling. That's very saucy. That's that's pretty. I don't know about you guys, but wow. So again, either one you can do. I'm going super slow. Nicole, looks like you're like rolling the heck out of that calf. Holy moly! You're
I'm
going
trying to
super
find
fast.
where I feel it.
Oh my gosh, I could not go that fast. This is killing me. Oh wow. Wow, Chris. So it looks like you have both both your feet on there, right? Your legs, Chris. That's good. That's good, McCartney. Yeah, I can't quite do that all the way. It hurts. It hurts me. So I found my saucy spots, and I'm just sitting on it now. Oh, I think I'm gonna have a lot of these spots. I went on my first long run today, 7 miles, and I survived. Okay, and again, we want to stay about 5 breaths on that spot. Okay, great. And then sit down back onto the mat, and then lift that leg, and then sort of shift your roller onto the other calf. And again, you can support yourself, or you can put both legs on top and go for it. That's interesting. That calf, to me, this one is a little bit less tender. You guys find that you have one that's less tender than the other?
My left is more tender.
Yeah.
Your left is more tender?
Yeah.
Huh.
My right was
I think
more
I
tender
favor,
for sure.
yeah, my right's for tender too. I think I favor my right quite a bit. It's amazing that our bodies, when you think about it, we're doing two sides of our bodies, but if you think about it from a mechanical standpoint, it's amazing we don't have more injuries because we're symmetric. We have like two of all this stuff, but it has to work pretty daggone well because it's not like we're like getting to the age of 40 and half our body's like messed up and the other one looks great. You're going like, wow, well that part did all your work, So it's pretty amazing that our bodies can do everything we ask them to do, and there's two parts to it, and they balance out, and really they're pretty closely balanced, right? It's pretty. So when you find that spot, just hang out there. Good. Again, small movements is what you want, just small movements. You don't really need to go through the whole length of, when we do this rolling, we're disrupting the fascia a little bit and we're stretching our muscle, but you probably get less bang for your buck if you go too far out on either part of the sides of the muscle, because that part's pretty fixed, and so it's going to be hard to really get any sort of stretch, if you will, or disruption of the fibers at that point, because it's pretty tough there at the ends. Okay, there we go. We're done with that. Let's go to the other side. We get to do our hamstrings. Again, these are probably, and this one I don't think I have a problem bringing one leg across the other. And I don't really find a lot of tenderness here, except again where I did pigeon and lizard, I could feel it. Is this tender for you guys? This is like really nice because this is not that tender for me.
No, this just feels good.
Yeah, this just feels good.
I feel like
so
my
I just have
hamstrings.
one. Who's saying that?
I was just saying, I feel like my hamstrings tend to get tight first, but they're never really like sore.
Sort,
If
yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
I guess because they act more like maybe like springs too.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find that spot, just hold it there. So here I was able to bring one leg on top of the other one and use weight to get a little bit more. Good. And then when you're ready, sit back down and then bring that roller to the other side. I hope everyone had a good day today. Or if it's not, then I hope that everyone's happy that it's over. But I mean, it is the weekend, so hopefully, during the week.
And tomorrow's a holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've never had a holiday off because I'm working for a government aid.
I woke up this morning so mad it was Sunday because that meant my weekend was over. And when it hit me tomorrow was a holiday, I was like dancing on air.
Yeah, me too. Because I've never had holidays off, but because I'm working at a VA medical center. And so it's like, oh my goodness. I felt exactly the same way. I actually realized it yesterday and I was like so smitten. I was so like, Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's actually really, my weekend's really starting tomorrow like a normal weekend.
The perks of being a public employee can
Yes.
be few and far
There's not,
between. So these are the good things.
exactly.
What holiday is tomorrow? We don't have anything here.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
So it's a day of service. You're supposed to volunteer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nicole, what are you going to volunteer for? Another
I'm
committee
gonna,
on another
Nope.
committee on BSF?
Nope. I'm all done with VSF work. I'm going
Oh,
to, I don't know.
I do want to like recognize it to myself. So I think I'm going to read some of his writings. Okay, when you're done there, great. We're done with that. Okay. Now we're going to move to our quads, and then Nicole reminded us of the
No.
great IT bands. So, I'm going to tell you how I like to do the quads. Okay. So we're going to now face the mat, so I'm in tabletop. Okay. And I'm going to bring my, so I'm going to roll the I'm going to roll the left leg in my case, and I'm going to make my right leg so the opposite leg turns into a frog leg. So it's frog position. Okay. And then, so the one I'm not rolling is in a frog. And the one I am rolling, I'm just laying on top of. And then I put the roller in the center and I slowly roll those quads. And you sort of like do like a military crawl, like you're going slowly up with your elbows. So I'm on my forearms. And then I use my forearms sort of to crawl forward and back. And then I find that saucy spot and I just hang out here. Whoa. And again, just like when we do our deep hip openers and stretches and you need to relieve tension, the key here also is the same thing. We tend to be guarded, even if you're like getting a deep massage. I don't know if any of you have ever gotten a deep massage. I get those from time to time because I used to get more injured more when I did more. And I would always be wincing and tense. And you need to relax even though you're doing something deep. So just challenge yourself. Not the only challenge during this class today is just to relax. And then when you find that spot, just lay on it. Just breathe into it. Yeah, this is more tender for me. How about you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then slowly bring those elbows in, shift your weight back. Come off that roller. Let's bring it to the other side. So like in my case, I'm gonna roll my right leg. And so my left leg's in a frog kind of a position. And I'm on my forearms. And then when I'm ready, do those little movements and just roll on that other side.
I really hate to admit this, but I'm looking forward to my IT band now. And not because
Yeah.
not because this hurts, but I feel like I've worked up to it like a ladder, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good way to say it. Yeah.
Like everything around it is loose now.
yeah.
Or it's been a gradation of sort of pain, right? And so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I did that. Well, it's all downhill after the IT band, so that's a nice thing. IT band's probably the most important. So, it's funny, but we went to a yoga training and there's something called anatomy, trains. And it's really, what their theory is that we tend to think of things in like tendons, ligaments, muscles. And what they think about is lines of reinforcement and stress in the body. So meaning between your Achilles and your IT band coming up to your hip, then there's an imaginary sort of, it crosses to the other side, the way the connective tissue works. So it's sort of like your connective tissue like spirals around your body. So it's not this up and down thing like your muscles. And so the IT band is like a key part of that sort of connective tissue line, if you will, which sort of makes sense that we would have sort of a connective tissue spiral component to our body, because that would definitely add stability for torsion. Good. So I'm just going to hold it a couple more breaths in that sore spot. And then slowly come out of that. We get to focus on the other leg, but we're going to focus on the IT band. I'm going to, just so everyone can see me, I'm going to switch on this side. So really the IT band, you're really going into that, like it's like a side plank. It's like a supported side plank is the way I like to bring it. So I'm going to do my left leg, my left IT band. So I'm going to put my left forearm parallel to the front edge of my mat. Okay, and it's like I'm going into a side plank. Okay, I'm going to bring the leg that I'm not rolling across and over my body. Okay, so it's going to support me. So this is like a supported side plank. So my right foot and leg are pointing to the side edge of my mat and at 90 degrees, and I'm basically in a side plank on that IT band. Okay, and then you start to roll. And if you want more, you can lift your leg like off the floor, so it can rest on the floor, and then you have sort of less weight on that IT band. The IT band's pretty long, so you might want to do it in sections. So you're doing the lower section. I'm doing the lower section above my knee, and then I'm finding the saucy spot, and I'm just going to hang out there for a little bit, and then I'm going to shift my weight and do the top half. Good, a couple more breaths here. And then what we'll do is move that roller a little bit higher, because you want to go up a little bit towards your hip. And then do your micro rolls there. Find that saucy spot. And then rest on it. So I feel like when I'm doing this, and maybe it's because I'm not putting too much weight on my IT band, but I feel like my forearms actually has a lot of my weight.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that will probably in the future be helpful is if you put a blanket or something in there. Do a couple more breaths. Good, and then release. Come down. Be thankful there's only one more. I'm glad we're not like tripod kind of a things. Then you'd have 3 IT bands.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this one's definitely, this is my right leg. Oh yeah, Chihuahua. That is, wow. That's crazy. Wow. Take a couple more breaths.
tone is on this.
Yeah.
Why isn't he?
And he said he takes Sundays off. That's what he told me earlier.
Oh,
Oh, he
okay.
did. Well, this is like an off class. This is like we're just massaging our class.
I think that's why he takes Sundays off. It's because we started rolling.
And then slowly come out of that. Be thankful again. We just have 2 legs. Okay, the rest is all good. Okay, it's all downhill. All uber downhill. So I'm looking forward to the last one, the last two. And I'm even looking forward to this one. So we're going to do our adductors, okay, our hip flexors. So this time, the leg you're going to roll is going to be in like a frog, half frog. So it's everything 90 degrees, your foot 90 degrees, your knee, and at your hip. And then the other foot leg is going to be extended out straight. And then you're going to take the roller, and the roller is going to be going up and down. So the roller is perpendicular to your leg. So the leg that looks like a half frog has a roller that's perpendicular to the leg. And then you're going to use that roller. And I think you're going to get more out of this if you, I mean, you can see what feels good, but I think the closer you get to your pubis bone, that inner hip bone, I think the more you're going to get out of these hip flexors. And then you can really find a spot there and just, this one you can hang out. And this actually, to me, this is tender, but it's not like an evil tender, like a IT band. That to me feels like an evil tender. This feels like a deep massage. Like, oh, okay, that's good. So I find that this feels tender, but it feels good. How do you guys feel here?
Feels like a release. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
A relief.
Mine's a
Yeah.
little evil.
It reminds me of when I get knots in my shoulders and it hurts like hell, but I still want Sarah to put an elbow in it.
Oh yeah. That's a good analogy. Yeah, I like that. Exactly, I like that. And then just hang out about three, 4 more breaths in that sweet spot. And again, just breathing into it. I think it's hard to breathe into your IT band because that's just your tense anyways, so you're just like rolling it. But I think this you can breathe into. Good, and then slowly come up, just real slowly when you're ready. Okay. And then come up like into a tabletop. And then I'm taking the roller to the other side. The other leg turns into a half frog. And I'm like in a sphinx pose with my forearms. So I'm on my forearms with my hands and fingers pointed at the front. Try to keep everything at 90 degrees, your foot at your knee and at your hip. So we had a babysitter yesterday, so we have a tradition. I think Christy may have mentioned it, but we write our 100 things that we're grateful for. We used to do it at New Year's Eve, but with all the kids and everything with Ava, we haven't been able to do it. So I was really happy to have that extra day tomorrow because we have only done half. And so tomorrow we're just going to go. We have a babysitter for Ava, so we're just going to find a quiet place and finish our other half. Okay. Good. And then when you're ready, slowly come out. And we're coming to the one that I really have been looking forward to. And we're going to do our glutes. We'll do them a little bit different than what Christy did. We'll see how this goes. So find yourself in a seated position, okay? And what we're going to do is I have the roller underneath or right next to my right thigh, okay? And it's basically perpendicular. So it's not long ways like my leg, it's perpendicular to my leg, okay? And what we're going to do is my hands, you can see what's comfortable. Actually, I have my fingers pointed back. You're going to go like into a reverse tabletop, okay? And you're going to set your glute on the end. So you don't set it on the center, okay? So really, the end of your roller should be halfway across. It should be basically how do I say this politely? It should be at the end of your buttocks cheek before it gets to the other side. You know what I'm saying, okay?
One
And
butt
so,
cheek at a time.
You want
yeah,
us to
one butt
floss
cheek
our
at a
butt cheeks.
yeah. Yeah. So, but you don't want the roller all the way across the other side because then it's just not focused on one cheek. Okay, and then what we're going to do to make this take a little bit more is we're going to do a pigeon, a reclined pigeon. So I'm bringing again, the roller's under my right cheek, okay, and I've just brought in my left foot above or on my right thigh. So I'm like in a figure 4, okay? So just like a reclined pigeon, but you got the roller under you. And then slowly roll that out.
Does anyone else feel like they're getting an arm workout?
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Just want to make sure.
He snuck that in there.
Yeah, I think what would be good, and I just realized that because we do want to make this is having a blanket. I think a blanket would like soften it a little bit on our arms. So we forget about our gluteal muscles so much because I don't know. I guess we just sort of think that all we do is sit on them and they're useless, but they're really part of your core, and they're really important in terms of how we just walk and carry ourselves throughout the day and how we sit. And it's just so easy, in some forms of yoga, okay, and this is true, it's like Ashtanga yoga, which is a certain type of yoga. We've been to a couple seminars and classes. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I can see the value in some of it. But what they have you do throughout the whole class is they have you just pull all your glutes in tight. You're supposed to pull it in like throughout the class, like a 60-minute class. You're supposed to be tightening your sphincter, okay, like Kegel exercises, and your glutes, like through the whole class. And it's like, well, it's impossible because you just you can't do it. But in certain forms of practices of yoga, they do focus on that mula bandha and those muscles that need to be tightened up. So this feels really good to me. So, and I'm okay. And when you're ready, just come onto the other side. Again, I'm shifting the roller to the other side. It's just basically pretty much on my left cheek. I'm in a reverse tabletop. And then when I'm ready, and that roller seems to be where I need it to be, I'm going to cross my leg over and I'm doing a reclined pigeon or a figure 4 on that side.
Hey, sorry guys, not you. Devin, save me one. Okay. Sorry.
Is it something yummy?
My best friend made us and brought over some Nashville hot chicken sandwiches.
Ooh.
Oh,
And
wow.
by the time I could eat it, it was like 15 minutes before the class. And I'm like, I'll wait till after.
Yeah, now you get to enjoy it. Your body's all stretched, but you got to definitely make sure there's one there for you, because then that would be
Yeah.
sad. Like you're all excited through class. Oh, I feel so
Right.
mellow. I feel so good. And then you go out there and you go, where is it? What we do is we hide these things sometimes when I want something because I have so many kids.
Yeah.
I'd never be able to get anything. I have to hide one. I've hid things in my bedroom before. I'm
I've
confessing.
done the like put it in a different box. Like you put
Yeah.
the cookies in a vegetable
Oh,
box or something.
oh, I like that. Gosh,
Yeah.
Nicole, you are like really, you got this creative side that I wouldn't
We
even think
also
about these things.
we also convinced Devin that ice cream trucks only played music when they were out of ice cream.
That's funny. To make the people happy because they feel so bad that there's no ice cream.
Yep.
That's really funny. I like that. You should write a book on this. How to raise your kids with half
I just
truths or something.
yeah. I had so funny. He was convinced rubber chicken was the worst bad word in the worst cuss word. People don't look at you as
Okay,
funny when your
guys.
kid's yelling rubber chicken.
No. Okay, come on off of that. Now the last one we're gonna roll, and then we just got a couple stretches and we're done. Is we're gonna roll our backs. Okay. I'm just gonna focus on the mid to upper back. Okay. So I'm like leaning against my foam roller, and my feet are up near my bottom, and I'm gonna go ahead and cradle my head with my hands, and then you slowly lift as if you're going into a little mini bridge. Lift your hips, okay, and then roll. Now, when you're rolling the like the mid part of the back, you're going to notice that you're going to bring your head up and your chin towards your chest. It's almost like you're doing a little crunch, okay? That's normal. And then as you come all the way, as you roll towards your neck, you're going to find that your head starts laying down and laying back. So just allow your allow the rest of your body to conform to what you're rolling in a natural way so that it feels good. And then here you can spend a lot of time. I mean, I think most people have a lot of tension in their shoulder blades, and this feels like fantastic. So it's like you can hang out, open your elbows a little bit, open your chest, and just like hang out. There's a spot that really feels good in your shoulder blades, you might want to move that foam roller so that corner of that foam roller sort of makes its way in. So do what feels good and explore it. This is another area that tends to be hold tension, and the reason we have quote those knots that like Nicole was saying, I bet you were when you said that. This is what I was thinking about. I was thinking of
Yeah.
knots like here, right? And it's because of how we sort of slouch. We let our shoulders come out of their sockets, and our shoulders sort of move hunch forward, and that puts a lot of tension, right, in that area. And especially if you work on a computer a lot. I bet Sarah's on a computer a lot. Is she on a computer a lot, or she's probably on her feet and she probably moves the computer
She
around,
does
right?
both, but yeah.
And just don't go too far down because we don't have as much stability in that part as we're pushing, just because we don't have all those chest muscles, our ribs, and everything that's stabilizing that thoracic spine. And even our scapula's in between the roller and our spine, but as you get lower, it's just your spine. Oh my gosh. This does feel awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now this I should do a lot. Wow. I think our next class is just going to be on scapular roll. 60 minutes of
Yeah.
scapular roll. Oh my goodness. I can feel my nuts. Can you feel your nuts, Nicole? I can feel mine. Okay. And when you're ready, just let that come off your roller. We have time for just a little two things more here. Okay. Actually, we're in a seated position. Find yourself in a staff pose. And when I'm in a staff pose, like when I'm seated up, let me move the roller. Before I do anything, I like to do two things. I like to make sure I'm bringing my hips really parked, like the sit bones really parked under my hips, and I like to bring those hips into their sockets. So I like sort of imagine myself walking my legs back, okay? And then I press my shoulder blades against my spine, open my chest, and bring the crown of my head up, okay? I soften my knees just a little bit, reach, and then fold forward. And if you can reach your feet, massage your feet. Reach your toes, massage your toes. I like to, once I'm bent over, I like to push those hips back in their sockets again. I walk it back and I can get a little bit further and deeper. And then slowly use your hands and just walk back because you're supporting yourself. So you're not doing it. Try not to put any strain on your back. You're just walking those hands back on your legs. Good. Bring your right knee up towards the ceiling and your right foot cross it over that left thigh. So I basically have my knee against my chest and my right foot crossed over, pointing towards the front of the mat. And then take your right hand and sort of swing it back. Okay, we'll just take a little twist here. And then slowly release. Gently pick up that foot and just set it back down. Take a nice breath in, nice deep breath. And then bring that left knee up towards the ceiling, towards you, towards your body. Tuck it in nice. And then cross that foot over that thigh. Sit up on your sits bone. And then when you're ready, slowly twist to the left. And take some nice breaths. And then slowly release. And then slowly make your way down onto the mat, your back onto the mat, just slowly, really slow. Everything slow and gentle, rolling down. Bring your knees into your chest. Give them a nice squeeze, a nice hug. Very small, just roll back just a little bit, very little, just a gentle little massage on your lower back. Then with your peace fingers, grab your toes. Open up to a happy baby. And again, do what you feel good. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to extend one leg and I'm going to bend the other because I'm just going to get a nice little one more stretch in. You can just rock back and forth, opening up your hips and your knees. I'm just sort of going back and forth, straightening out one leg, bending the other. And do that a couple more breaths. Good. Bring your knees back to center. We'll do one last thing. We'll do a fish pose. I don't know if you guys know the fish pose. Extend your legs in front of you. Okay. Now I'm going to bring my hands. Okay. Bring your hands to the level of your belly button, right next to your hips. Okay. So now bring your hands and point them down onto the mat. So now your elbows should be pointed outward, okay? And you're laying flat. Now what I'm asking you to do is lift up and bring one elbow in to your body and then bring the other elbow into your body, okay? So now your elbows are in, okay? And my hands are basically behind the small of my back. My thumbs are pointing towards each other and like this L, so they're pointing towards each other, and my thumbs are perpendicular to my fingers. Fingers pointing to the feet, thumbs pointing to my spine. Okay, I got my elbows in, and I'm just resting on them, and then now I'm supported. Okay, and now I can sort of open up just like in camel pose. Open your chest and bring your gaze back. So you're supporting yourself on your elbows, and there should be no tension on your back. So camel felt like you had a little bit of tension there. You shouldn't feel any tension. A lot of times we do this with the block. You take a couple deep breaths, opening up. Good, and then slowly release all the way down to the mat. Bring your feet to a little bit to the outer edges of the mat. Your palms can be facing down or up. I like to have them facing up to receive. Close your eyes and take your final resting pose. Slowly take some deeper breaths and bring some more purpose into your breaths, wiggling toes and fingers. I like to open my mouth. I like to squint my eyes and just relax that jaw and squint. Then taking a couple deep breaths and then finding your way that feels best for you, whether you want to roll over to your side or slowly make your way up. Let's find ourselves in our seated position. Hands to heart center, eyes closed, shoulder blades against our spine, head bowed. Thankful that we're compassionate to ourselves and our body so that we can take care of it in a loving way, not in a challenging way, but just in a way of compassion. The light in me honors the light in each one of you. Namaste.
Namaste.